Folks, we are live. Welcome to the Random Party Generator. I am half of your host, so we've got more in the waiting in the wings, or waiting with wings, or beers, or some such. I don't know. I am Eric Tenkar. With me down below is Rob Conley, Mr. Bat in the Attic. We know that we should have Joe the Lawyer coming in at some point. But listen, it's Fridays during the holiday season. Even I was running late. So I had a last minute invite to a 5 p.m. dinner right down the block. But of course, that doesn't mean that it actually takes place at 5 o'clock and that things move quickly. So they didn't. But we are here. Thyatis, welcome. Always good to see you, sir. So, actually, Rob, your Black Marsh was my free OSR pick of the day on the blog
Oh,
today.
it was.
It was because I've been trying to do mix things up for the holidays, including things that people can gift themselves for free. And Black Marsh certainly fits into that category. It's probably, uh,
Sure.
one of the, if not the best sandbox settings. It's certainly the best free sandbox setting you're going to find. And the print on demand versions are what, 6.99 for the soft cover.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But yeah, I'm only like 10 copies away from platinum and it's all due to people deciding they like it. They like the free version so much they want to get it in print.
Yeah, I mean, my history with Black Marsh, oh my God, goes back to pretty much right after it got released because that was the first campaign I ran after we did the D&D Next playtest. That makes me feel old. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
So,
Yeah, so it's $6.99 for the soft cover and $11.99 for the hardcover. The
so
hardcover is, I think, yeah, it's it's really nice. Now I make the same amount on both, so it doesn't
right.
matter which one you get. But this 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 I don't know. For thin as it is, it has a hefty feel to it.
You know, if you folks, just to put this out there, if you've been interested in sandboxes and haven't really cut your teeth on one, never played in one. I mean, I ran one back in my college days, but I didn't know it was a sandbox at the time. We didn't call it that. This is not my group. We didn't have the internet to tell us what to call things. But Rob's Black Marsh is honestly one of the best ways to see how a sandbox should be set up, and I think it's you can find it on drive through again. It's free in PDF. It's inexpensive in print. So gift yourself a print copy. How about that? Not saying it'll come in time for Christmas. It probably won't. You don't know what drive through, but come
Well,
play.
I do have news on the follow up. So I finally got not the first draft quite yet. I have to write the supporting chapter, but all four maps are done, detailed. You'll need editing before I go to the Kickstarter, but the Kickstarter looks like it's going to be happening sometime in either late January or early February.
Damn.
Yep, yep. So, basically, we have map map one, map two, map three, and miscounted off by one. So four maps. So we'll just pretend this is map four.
Hey,
Yep. So
you ordered it. Who knows what order it really is? Only you know, Rob. The rest of us, we're just along for the ride.
yeah. So the cover has a small printout of the of the 4 maps combined. There's going to be, the Great Glacier, the Wild North, Black Marsh, and Northport here. And even though some of it, like this area I released before, this area I released, and this I released in a different form, but there's a lot of new content to fill out the map. Like everything that's over on this edge right here,
Right.
all this stuff down here is new. And so I'm on the downhill slope of that.
Very cool. Very cool. So again, we're not waiting for our additional members. Hopefully, when they show up, they are in a better state of sobriety. Again, the holiday season. This is also the last random party before Christmas. We got one more left for the year. That'll be the 27th, and then we'll be entering 2025. It's kind of scary. So, one thing that I've noticed, this is just off the top of my head, is that everybody has been, and when I say everybody, literally not everybody, but a lot of people have been leaving Twitter, making their announcements, and they've been going to Blue Sky. But I've seen one gaming personality creative who has literally jumped into Twitter like they've risen from the dead. And that would happen to be Mike Mearls. Mike Mearls is extremely active on Twitter. It's like being leaving WotC has given a little lift to his feet. And he's been asking a lot of gaming questions and doing these little gaming surveys. And a recent one was on healing. And how much healing does a day of rest give a PC? Or how much should it? And you could see the divide is pretty up. There's Joe. You could see the divide was pretty huge.
Ooh.
Because there was about 50% said it should give you back 100% of your hit points. About, I think 40% was like it should give you back half your hit points. And then there was like a really small infinitesimal of the old school gamers where it's like you should get back 1 hit point per day. And the survey doesn't surprise me because you're going to get a lot of 5e players in that. But I am very surprised to see Mike Mearls running these surveys. I'm wondering in the future, once he gets past these basic questions, where his future Twitter presence is going to get to. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I didn't have many conversations with Merle, but we had a few chats on the run up to 5e, and I know he used my. I was told that he had my Majestic Waterland supplement as one of the many things he was trying out as part of his team.
Oh,
to make sure that 5e supported both old and new styles of play.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Mearls, love the man or hate him, he is a gamer at heart, right? He isn't a suit.
Yeah.
He was a gamer that had to put on a suit and walk that role or make it work, but he never fully fit into it. And I think that's the reason why he's no longer with WotC.
I think that the Zach thing took him out of commission, remember? That was the first blow. I think they hated him because he wasn't, woke bullshit, yada, yada. And they used, as many people did, the Zach thing to just say, an excuse, let's sideline him. So they couldn't get rid of him because he graded the best RPG since Gary, right? But so they said, let's shunt him off into some nonsense bullshit position. He still gets paid. We can't fire him yet. And they just, put him to the side, basically,
Right. Well, they shoved him over to the Magic the Gathering side of things. And then after that, I think he was there for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Then it was like, oh, all right, we're doing that big downsizing. Yeah, now is it time?
Bye-bye. Yeah.
So he's with Chaosium now.
Is he? I didn't
Yep.
know that. That's cool.
He was with Chaosium, so he landed okay.
Think he's writing his own RPG or something? You think he's trying to do his own gig?
I would not be surprised if Mike puts out his own 5e content.
His own 5e clone, because you can do that now, right? I mean,
I don't know.
It might conflict with his job,
Yeah, true.
I mean, yes, technically he could do that. I mean, it's open content. How
Yeah.
can you do? He can do stuff with basic role play if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But if you're like part of the creative team of a company and they don't give you permission to come out with your own RPG, then there's a little bit of a conflict of interest.
Right, because a lot of times with creatives, and it's weird because it's even my father, when he was working for the phone company, my father is very good at jury rigging shit, and he jury rigged a solution that kept, I think, the whole East Coast from crashing. This is back in like the late 80s. So he jury rigged mechanically a fix that would have kept the phone system from crashing. He got an award. He got his full-size poster up at the headquarters.
Wow.
And he got a watch, because although the company was probably going to make millions of dollars off of what he jury rigged, with refinement, he did it as an employee of New York Telephone.
Yeah.
And therefore, he had no rights to it.
You should have put a kill switch in there so you could, known only to him, flick the switch and the whole goddamn thing crashes. They got to come.
It's all gone.
Well,
but
can
now,
you fix it? Well, I can for $5 million.
What do you want? But
speaking of, I'm sorry, go on.
No, what I was going to say is that we don't know if Mike Mearls is under a similar contract, which I believe Gary was before he left TSR.
Yeah.
That anything that he wrote, whether it was on quote his time or TSR time, belonged to TSR. If it was RPG related. That was part of that lawsuit with Dangerous Dimensions, which became Dangerous Journeys, was that they claimed, TSR claimed, that he had been designing that while he was employed by TSR.
Interesting.
So
interesting. Huh. I wonder if Mearls, I mean, if they could hire him in Chaosium to do a 5e rule set to apply it to all of the Chaosium games that they have a license to. Doesn't Chaosium still have Stormbringer, the Elric shit? And do they any longer? They would have any other like Conan things or anything like that? Because if he could apply the 5e rule set to 5eify Conan or 5eify the Elric Stormbringer stuff or whatever the hell else they own, they might be able to pull it off.
I think the idea of converting stuff like that to a D&D variant, they learned their lesson with the D20 bust, boom and bust. Remember, they had a D20 Call of Cthulhu.
It was actually, it was by, what's his name? Monty Cook, actually, was the main man behind that. But there's another, issue with that is I don't believe that they have the Elric or Stormbringer license anymore. I think that passed, and their fantasy game would be RuneQuest, which is Bronze Age. It should be right up your alley there, Joe.
Yeah. I have somewhere on the shelf the RuneQuest game, I think. I got to take a look at it. God. RuneQuest was my first sandbox. What?
Yeah, but RuneQuest Second Edition, the old. I called the old Red Book because my dust jacket was gone real quickly. I had a dust jacket on an RPG, unheard of. And I had Pavis and Big Rubble. And I ran that one summer as a sandbox. I didn't know it was a sandbox. I didn't call it a sandbox.
Yeah.
But it was a huge ass, setting that, Pavis and Big Rubble complemented each other perfectly. And my players just roamed the rubble and occasionally went into Pavis, the city environment. And we did that for, I don't know, better part of 3 or 4 months. And that's summer gaming in college when people were playing 3 or 4 days a year because
Yeah.
you had part-time jobs and
Like a girlfriend. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, you know, and then real shit happened, and then ugh.
You know, I don't have it. I don't have RuneQuest. I'm looking on the shelf right now. I don't see it there. Interesting.
I recommend getting the RuneQuest 2e reprint, Joe.
That's
Was
very
that the one from back in the day? Was that the main good?
that was the main one.
Yeah, I got it.
Surprised. I thought I picked up all the ones. I went on the spree over COVID with all the extra money from not going to the bar to buy all the RPGs that I saw in Dragon Magazine when I was a kid but couldn't afford. You know what I mean? So I wanted to. I went on the. I mean, a Pendragon. I got Thieves World. I got Tunnels and Trolls and GURPS and Shadow, whatever the fuck, Shadowrun. Oh, I'm looking at them now, and it's like, fuck, I don't have RuneQuest. That's an oversight.
See, if you were gonna buy the new edition of RuneQuest, I would just say get the starter set.
Yeah.
If the starter sets from Chaosium are
Oh, I have it. Wait a minute. I see a boxed set.
there you go.
It's let me see. Here it is. It's RuneQuest fantasy role playing game. I can't tell. It's Chaosium. I can't tell what the edition is. How do you know what the edition is?
Do the camera on the hands.
I will. Hold on.
We can identify it. We got the experts here.
Okay, hold on a second here. Let's see. Let me turn off my background here. Maybe you guys could ID this thing for me. There's my, yeah. So this is the box set.
That's the reprint.
That's no. This is OG, Eric. This is yeah.
Oh, you got an actual copy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're all set. So get the if you want to compare and contrast, get the new box set.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have it, and it also came with a few things in here. I have where the hell this is Apple Lane by Greg Stafford.
Okay.
That's their keep on the Borderlands.
Yeah.
And then
I had a.
okay.
Well, I ran the opening scenario for that for Tim and Dwayne, and that's where Tim's character got his legs cut off in the middle of the fight, but he had such a kick-ass healing spell he was able to reattach it.
I have a read this first. I have something called Fangs. Oh, I have a game catalog. Something called Fangs. Where the fuck
that's just monster stat blocks. But the thing is, back in the 70s and 80s, we didn't have personal PCs that could print out the shit, so that was useful.
I don't know what the hell this is, but I need like a magnifying glass to see it.
Those are the character sheets.
Jesus Christ, that's a character sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. Oh, here's an introductory guide. There we go, an introductory guide by these guys. Well, I guess
that's basic role playing. That's their version of the basic rules.
Okay. All right. So I have RuneQuest.
Yeah, you have RuneQuest.
All right. Yeah, this is
if you ever want to do a one shot and have me run it, I have my own copy right here.
And it used to be owned by Eric Spandy.
No, I just said, let's see, it wasn't owned by me, I'll tell you that much.
Eric A. Spandy. And he wrote it all in his fancy like font. He's real proud of it.
Calligraphy.
Yeah. This is dated copyright 1978, 79 to 1980. So yeah, this is a 1980 version. Dedicated to Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson, who first opened Pandora's box, and to Ken St. Andre, who found it could be opened again. Interesting. I like that. That's pretty cool. All right.
So,
I'm surprised. I didn't think
old games. Could you share my screen?
Yeah.
Let me put this off here. Back to
Hold on.
Lebowski. Yeah. There we go.
So I don't want to get into about the new DM guide. I have it. I read it.
Sucks.
It is what it is. But
Sucks.
the side benefit of it is that Greyhawk is now opened on DM's Guild for people to publish stuff for it. And boy, did the old school Greyhawk community really put in their stuff. So, first of all, there's like the World of Greyhawk Gazetta Revised, which is basically a nicely laid out version of the original. It's like a mashup between the folio and the box set.
Okay.
And Joseph Block came out with the player's guide, and he's charging for it. But if you're into it, it's really worth it. He really does a bang up job.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I would attest to anything Joe Block does about Greyhawk is going to be the best thing you're ever going to read about Greyhawk ever.
Yeah, and this is like his dream come true. So
oh yeah, wet dream.
And as you can see, it's already a gold seller.
Well, and here's the thing: there are the complaints on Joe's Greyhawk book is, and honest to God, this doesn't affect any of us probably here. Is that Joe pretty much ignores any of the changes they made in the DMG, and he goes with classic Greyhawk. And people complain that he didn't change this name. This name is racist. A few other things. So I was just like, but good for Joe for sticking to it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just. I'm looking, as you can see, for the comment. Do
you have a link, Rob? You can put it in the chat. We can share it with everybody. If you put it in the private, Eric could paste it to the chat.
Yeah, let me get into Joseph Block personal page.
Now, is this for 5e? This is Greyhawk for 5e? Is that the gist of it?
I kind of system neutral for the most part.
But because you can't really publish for older systems, so it's probably simply it's probably either for 5e or system neutral, or he does my trick and he just lists their hit dice and expects you to look it up for whatever edition you're planning to play with. And the last one is another effort who have their own take on the Greyhawk. So this classic guide to Greyhawk is also out, and this one's free. So I will post a link.
He has an AI free label. Interesting. Is that a new thing everybody's doing to show that no AI generated content in there?
Well, Joe has some strong feelings on it, but
I do too.
This one here, that one has AI art in it. So opinions differ.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just give a shout out to those guys because they're really the great. There's going to be people supporting the DM Guides version, but these guys are taking the opportunity and running and using it for all it's worth to print out OG Greyhawk material.
That's good. That's good for him. If he can make a buck off of them, so be it. Perfect.
Yeah, so the top three set, there's a gold, an electrum, and a silver setting. So they're selling quite well as far as this stuff goes.
Good. Mr. Gunn, what is shaking? I'll tell you what's shaking, Mr. Gunn. Guys, remember we were talking earlier in the week about prison rape? Well, let me tell you. I went to the doctor today, the eye doctor, right? It was an easy appointment, in and out, no problems, but my eyes are all dilated and you leave, this and that. And I'm like, I had extra time and I had to get an oil change, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I go back. We've been using this mechanic, my family, for like 40 years because it's the third or fourth generation. They don't screw you over. You could trust them. If they say something, they're good. You know what I mean? They're not going to kill you. They're not going to take all your money and shit and just say you got problems. So
right.
I got in there for an oil change. So I'm waiting. I said, hey, just check the brakes too. A little fucking weirdness, blah, blah, blah. He goes, so anyway, after, whatever oil change is done, he says, yeah, man, your brakes are shot. You need new back brakes. Your fronts are okay for a while, but new backs. I'm like, oh, shit. So I said, how long? I just do it now, get it done. He goes, yeah, it'll be about an hour. I said, all right, well, I'll go for a walk. Because I would just sit on my ass. I go for a walk, my old hometown, which is a shithole. And so it's like fucking cold. I walked about a half an hour and I found a bar to warm up in, I was sitting there waiting for them to finish. I had a couple of drinks. I get back to the place as they're just about to close up. And you're like, well, where you been? We thought you lost your. I said, yeah, well, I had to like gird my loins in anticipation of this bill, man. How much did it cost me for the oil change? He goes, well, we gave it the oil change for free because you spent $600 on brakes. I'm like, motherfucker. So happy fucking holidays. So there's your, not quite prison rape, but goddamn close on the fucking holiday season. Get nailed with a $600 fucking car bill. I got to say, man. Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's like not it wasn't not expecting that. Yeah, just paid off a credit card and it's like boom, put it all back on. Like,
that sounds like it was pads, routers, drums. It was the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, they just did the back ones for me. That was it. And the front ones, he says, you got enough time on the fronts to have to wait until the summer. I'm like, oh, yo. So it's a 2-part screw job. All right, cool. Perfect. Yeah, it's like seasonal.
Well, listen, I remember, oh my God, going back probably, oh God, more than 15 years, because I know, because I was out sick.
Yeah.
This is during my 11 months with cancer, and my parents decided that we were going to go to, I don't know, the North Shore, get me out of the house.
Yeah.
That's my parents. It's Chris. He was like 16 at the time, maybe 15, and myself. And listen, I'm on chemo. I'm fucking wrecked. But after we go to the beach, we drove my father's car. Everybody is dead tired. My father wants to nap. My mother's already sleeping in the back seat.
Yeah.
So who's driving? Me.
Yeah.
And the whole way out, I was telling my father, I was sitting in the back, Pop, one of your brakes doesn't sound right. I think they got a little grinding. Well, I'm doing 55 on the LIE.
Yeah.
Car distant in front of me slams on their brakes. I slam on mine, and I keep going.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. All I hear is, I went,
There goes the rotors. Fell right off.
I'm just like, son of a bitch. So,
Did you hit the car?
no, I went into automatic PD mode. Before they taught me how to fire a firearm, they taught me how to drive a police cruiser. And it's the Emergency Vehicle Operator's Course, EVOC. So you are taught to do those quick looks,
Yeah.
I look to the left, no go. Look to the right, barely a go. Quick to the right, pumped the brakes. It started to fucking finally catch. And I was like, and everybody woke up, of course.
Yeah.
My was like, what are you driving crazy? I'm like, I'm driving crazy. I told you, you fucking brakes.
Save your lives.
I had to do the right. I'm in the right lane with my hazards on the rest of the way home. Doing like 40 miles per hour and keeping that long distance in front of me. I was like, son of a bitch. Yeah, having brakes go is not a fun time.
I had it when I was about 23, and I finally got out of college, and I bought my first car, and it was a new Civic, and it was cool, and this and that, and it must have been 24. Because at some point, I put a lot of miles on that fucker, and the brakes went, and I couldn't afford to fix it, and so for about a week until my next paycheck, I was using my emergency brake as a brake. Yeah, I know. I did it for a whole week, though. I made sure I drove slow. I took back roads everywhere. I didn't hit any main roads, no highways. Everywhere I went, I minimized it, but I still had to get to work. You know, but I just used the emergency brake. I mastered how to stop with an emergency brake. God knows what damage I did to that fucking thing. But it worked. It fucking worked.
Who uses an emergency brake? I think I've used it once in my life.
No, New York is flat, dude. I mean, you're not living in San Francisco or something, but Connecticut's pretty hilly.
Yeah.
I had to avoid hills and everything else. I didn't want to build up any kind of speed,
Wow.
Yeah, this is what you do when you're broke, though. I mean, my brother one time, he had this piece of shit car. I forget what the hell it was. He called it the fucking Dreadnought. It was it was like a fucking tank. It was solid steel, this and that, right? And something went on it, and he was about 2.5 miles away from the house, and he couldn't go forward anymore, but he was able to drive in reverse. So he drove in reverse 2.5 miles to get back to the house. It's all the back roads. It was like the shit you do when you're broke. That thing, I think it was chained down. He took a dog chain that chained down the fucking hood of it because it kept popping up. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. What are you going to do?
Every time I took a corner too fast in my first car, a 1967 Dodge Polaris, the electrical system flickered. Yeah, Tim already told the story here on his channel when I took a corner too fast around Diamond Square in Meadville. One of the back doors popped open and all my D&D shit.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one. Everybody's chasing around all your handouts.
Yeah.
Yep. And you still get the same box back there, right?
Well, did I tell you what convinced Frog God Games to put the Burning Vagina cover of Swords of Wizardry Complete on sale?
Is it? The cover itself?
We discounted it and then we gave copies away. But the reason it was already having trouble selling it, but the reason why we discounted it, is we had the van full of product, and I was in the van in Lake Geneva because we were at Gary Con, and it was a rental van, and a Ford van. I guess maybe less than a van, but more than an SUV. Well, the back door opened up, and 3 boxes of Swords and Wizardry with the burning vagina went flying out the back.
Infected vagina cover.
And all the boxes opened up, and they all got road rash. They all got scuffed, dinged. I was like, what are we going to do with these? They're like, well, the better ones would just sell it half off, but the worst ones, just give them away.
Yeah.
I was like, well.
Write them off.
It's like, all right. Do you want a free game for your daughter? No.
God.
Oh, by the way, Flint, again, thank you for that review. I got a couple of sales from that already. So I really appreciate you taking the time doing that.
You reviewed his book, and not once, motherfucker, I actually listened to your video. Not once did you mention the finest editing in the entire RPG fucking industry. Not once, motherfucker. So what the fuck? All right? That was the best edited book ever done, ever, since Gary's shit. You know?
Uh-huh.
Bitch.
So, Joe, are you editing Zach Smith's compendium?
What? I don't know anything about that.
Oh, wait, we don't know about the compendium?
No, what's coming?
Okay, so
What is it?
all right, so Zach has he's making a comeback,
Yeah.
and what he is doing, it's on his.
I got that LL Cool J song. Don't call it a comeback. I mean,
you can go to his blog and you get basic details on how to get this compendium. You can pay him $1,000.
What is the compendium? $1,000?
What?
You can pay $1,000 and he'll put it in the mail tomorrow, or you can join a dozen and a half social media locations from Reddit, Discord, Facebook groups, Twitter, I don't know, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads. You gotta comment like a normal person, and then wait for instructions because you gotta appear like you're a normal account. Well, if you follow like these 32 steps, you will get this $1,000 book for free.
I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the blog post from Friday, November 29th.
Yeah, but it doesn't detail anything. It doesn't detail anything. You got to send an email, and then he starts to detail it. And if you're really serious, you answer that first email, and then he sends you the 32 steps that you must follow.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Or you can buy my book and do 34 steps and actually have something that's useful for yourself out of it.
I mean, think about that. So, and there's certain places like there's an OSR Discord server that you are to join and never mention his name because you'll get banned. Okay. But you got to make 10 comments or posts because it's all about legitimizing your account. You're basically a human bot. Basically, is what because once his thing releases, once you get the command word to do all this stuff, all your accounts are going to be burned. Once you're a part of this, you're going to get banned from everywhere. So and I'm not saying to folks don't do this. If you think it's worth it, if you think he does great shit and it's worth going through hoops, more power to you. Yeah. Don't use legitimate accounts that you value for this because you're going to get banned from everywhere.
It just seems complicated. I mean, just put it out in a PDF on RPG site.
Well, one thing hasn't changed about his comeback. He's still creative he's still chaotic asshole.
Well, that's part of it, right? Part of it is having you join places where he's banned, where just a mere mention of Zach will get you banned. So what's going to happen once you get the word. You're going to get banned. Okay. But I think some of this is giving a fuck you to the social media sites that, turned their back on Zach when his reputation turned into a burning bag of shite.
I think he's working with Raji again, though, right? Didn't Raji have that announcement?
Raji, they were working on something. I don't quite know. Listen, I talked to James, but we don't generally talk gaming these days or publishing. I was, we'll probably discuss this tomorrow on Gamers Health, but the holidays are rough on people. And
Especially when you get a $6 fucking break job just before Christmas.
well, listen, there's a lot of things that can do it to you.
Yeah.
But if and some people are already predisposed to get seasonal depression.
Yeah.
So Zach is a lawful asshole. He loves to manipulate and circumvent rules.
All right, I concede that point.
Yeah.
Hey, Flint, join us, man. You got the link. It's in my Discord. Jump in, man. What are you doing? Doesn't matter you're late. Jump in. I was late. Shit.
Yeah, come on. Listen, I actually had to leave at dinner because I was like, and I'm already passing Rach money under the table. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna have to leave. She's like, what time is it? I go, it's already 7:35. Yeah, it's like this 8-minute walk back to the house, but I gotta get going. And then as I'm walking out, they come out with a free round of shots. I kept on walking. I can't.
Got a shot and run, dude.
No,
It's a tradition for one of you two to come drunk on this channel. What stopped you?
Yeah.
I don't come drunk to this channel.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
What?
so it's just a Joe thing?
Yeah, no. I mean, well, hold on a second. Like last night on the live stream, people thought I was drinking alcohol, but it's hop tea.
Wow.
So it's got the hop.
Not Oreo Coke. You consumed your supply of Oreo Coke.
Oh my God, no more Oreo Coke, man. I can't. I don't think I can do it. I don't. That was one and done.
I was at the gym, so I was a little late after all the bullshit. Then I got home. I had to take a shower, and then I joined. But I'm not drunk. I'm not drink. I didn't stop and drink before I came on the show.
Right.
I'm having something right now, but
Yeah, and then you'll be sober before the show. Just after the show, you'll be a little lubricated.
Yeah.
So I have a special treat for the audience.
Uh-oh.
We have, if you would share my screen.
Gird your loins, boys and girls. Gird your loins.
Gird your loins.
Kittens.
We have Sora, the latest in AI generated video.
What? What is this, Rob?
This is AI generated video.
You made it?
Yeah. Well, I'm something made it. But what we can do is, describe a video to me, Joe. Joe.
You don't want me to do that, Rob. Trust me. Why don't we, Eric? David,
we're live. Describe a video.
No. I'm not in that state of mind right now, Rob. Anything coming out of me is going to be a little dirty. Go ahead, Eric. You tell him
I want a car with no brakes. A demon car with no brakes, driving through a cyberpunk urban environment.
There you go. I like that.
See, okay. I'm channeling my inner Joe.
Yeah, perfect. There's no hookers, but it's all right. Close.
This website. Okay. What the?
All right. So.
All right. I guess I have to. Oh, there.
We get to watch Rob type now, boys and girls. Let's see. Joe comes stoned. I'm not even stoned, dude. I haven't weird thing. I don't have I haven't smoked weed in like months. It's weird.
All right, describe it again. You want a demon car.
I want a demon car with no brakes, driving through a cyberpunk urban environment. And flames, right? We need flames.
Yes. Demon car. A flaming demon car.
Cyberpunk urban environment with flames out of the tailpipes or flames?
Just flames. Let's see what it does.
Out of the car's ass. There, I'm channeling my inner Joe. So there we go.
Okay, so the next thing is that it will use the regular ChatGPT to
Yeah.
expand the caption.
Oh, to give it more details. Okay.
Right. And now we can say create.
All right.
And it's going to take about 30 seconds or so. Yep, there.
Thaddeus, my dreams came back. No, it was weird. Funny thing was that I had a neighbor here. We always, would smoke at night sometimes, out on the deck and just yakking this and that. And she moved out, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get in shape, trying to get healthier, I guess. I'm like, yeah, good timing. You know what I mean? So yeah, less puffing, less drinking.
There we go, Eric.
Hey, that's pretty cool, man.
That's pretty cool. Now, my only question is, why is the tailpipe in front? But that's okay.
Yeah, and there's only one tire on the whole car. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a 2-wheel car. Actually,
Yeah.
I can see a little bit of a tire over there.
Yeah, it's going the wrong way, but we got the cyberpunk environment going at least.
You got the cyberpunk environment. You got the flames. You got additional flames on the side of the car.
It's kind of cool, yeah.
So the only thing else I'll point out that so you can have up to, if you're using the standard account, you can have up to the 10-second video, and if you get the $200 a month account, you can go up to 20 seconds. But the point is, you can go here and you can control the flow of the video by adding additional storyboard. So you could say something like, and a rocket shoots out of a side street and destroys the car.
Put it in there that Snoopy's driving it, Robin. Let's see what happens.
All right. Revealing Snoopy the dog driving the car.
No, you shouldn't say the dog. I wonder if it'll have Snoop Dogg in there. I wonder what it'll show.
They are very leery of people.
They don't want
doing videos of people, so your account have to be special.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. Oh, there goes some more ChatGPT shit.
Okay, so we're generating this.
10 more seconds for 2,400. Yeah, exactly.
It's a bargain at half the price. Just think of how much money you could make on YouTube videos. Dozens of dollars. Dozens of dollars a month for $2,400 a year.
Yeah.
The profits are infinitesimal. I mean that in a good way.
There's a real artist that I know who I follow on Instagram, and she says, she's actually pen and ink and paint and everything else and all the various mediums, and took her decades to learn it and this and that, and AI, she's really against it. And she came out and said something to the effect of, I can't, face palm kind of picture, and I can't wait to see all these people who can type in a prompt and think they're an artist all of a sudden. That's really what it's going to come down to.
Okay, here we go.
No, it's got 2 tires at least.
And the fire is coming out of the ass in 2 cases.
And where's Snoop?
Wait a minute, it ignored my storyboard.
Yeah, where's Snoopy?
Where's the big kaboom?
I don't know. Maybe it didn't. All we have is a little bump right there.
Yeah.
How many credits I have left? I have still plenty.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we don't have to. But basically, Sora is the new tool from OpenAI to automatically generate videos. So we're going to see this crap
Everywhere.
pop up all over the place. And of course, it's not just type in anything and you get, as you saw from the first video where it looked like the car had 1 or 2 wheels. You're just going to have to learn how to craft prompts, and for that amount of effort, you might as well learn to write it yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, crafting a prompt is nothing like coding that, though, Rob. That's the thing. That's the big deal. Is like people are going to think that they're a fucking artist because they can craft the prompt well, that makes something look like something that a skilled artisan can do after 50 years of practice. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like AI. I just think it's like you're ripping people off. You know, you really are. You're taking their even. I get it. I get the argument that, well, everybody learns by copying other artists, right?
Right.
Yeah. But that, on the flip side, a human learns by copying other artists. A computer can learn infinite capability to copy every artist. No human can copy every artist, but a computer can. You know, in a matter of minutes, use everything out there. That's some all human knowledge. And just, I used to think the holodeck in Star Trek: The Next Generation was pretty fucking cool, and now I see it coming, and
Right.
I don't like it. You know, I don't like what it does to human endeavor. I mean, Star Trek had the whole the whole thing where you are a human being striving to be a greater, better human being, and you know the cast, like Jonathan Frakes Riker he played his trumpet or his trombone, or whatever the fuck it was, and Picard was an amateur archaeologist, and everybody had their hobbies and interests, and they were able to pursue that. So in that fictional world, AI didn't destroy human creativity, but in our real world, it's going to, and that's what I don't like about it.
Well,
Joe, again, I'll say it again. It's the future is not going to be fought between AI and human. It's going to be fought between humans who use AI tools to improve their productivity versus humans who don't.
I'm talking about art. I'm talking about productivity, Rob. I'm talking about pure art.
That's what I'm saying. That an artist with talent
Yeah.
can figure out how to use AR art to complement their work, and they're going to be able to do more with their time than a human that does not use AI.
But we've already seen that, right? We saw that with the giant kins or whatever the heck it is with 5e.
Yeah.
And the problem with that was that the AI art was lazy, obvious stuff. You're going to get to the point where AI art isn't going to have, 6 fingers, a third eye.
Yeah, it'll get better. It'll be
random
good.
Yeah, the random nipple. It's gonna start correcting for that
I
self.
don't know what random nipples, Eric. All right.
Well, actually, the problem, Eric, right now is it takes a lot to train an AI model, an LLM model. Okay, to train it, and what I'm describing will not come to pass until they figure out how. So you could buy a subscription to the AI and then point it to your folder of art and have it work as a useful companion for your style, not just whatever randomly generated crap the AI picks up.
Right.
But it looks at your style and then starts producing your image. And what will happen is they'll figure out a workflow in that it will begin the image in their style. Won't be a push of a button, but it'll begin the image, save them about a half to 2/3 of the work, and then the artist will finish it on their Syntex or whatever, are printed out.
I think it takes away from the art, the creativity. The whole thing about art, if you look at it as just an end result of a product, fuck you. If you look at art as creativity, pure creativity, that is the goal. I mean, when you create something, not to get all religious and shit here, but if you look at God as the creator of the universe, when you are creating something, no matter what it is, you are never closer to God than when you're creating something pure from your own capability, from your own eyes, your own brain, your own vision, your own everything about it coming from you. When you're using a computer, all you're doing is typing in fucking prompts. You're taking away all of the benefits and all the beauty of art if you're not creating it. I mean, I saw this coming with Bandcamp. Bandcamp. What the fuck was it called? Rock Band, and remember Guitar Hero Rock Band?
Oh yeah.
I told him, my brother, and he argued it back then too, and I think he still does. I said, this is going to kill all the kids, like when we went to high school, who had a fucking garage band and they're practicing and hammering out the tunes and really trying to understand music and get better at it and go out on the road and this and that. It's going to kill everything because you have instant gratification. You have a bunch of fucking friends smoking and drinking in your fucking living room, playing these bullshit things that has the allure. It sounds like, it looks like you're playing instruments, but you're not. And then you have all the instant applause of the fucking TV audience, computers cheering at you for doing it. Those kids, a lot of them probably would have been interested in starting a fucking next Led Zeppelin, but they didn't. And how many bands you got out there right now? Nothing. You know, it is not. There's compared to when we grew up, nothing. And so you're taking away all the fucking joys and beauty, human creativity by doing this shit. That's what I don't like about it. Anyway, rant over.
Never over.
You're making a tools argument. Every new set of tools that's come along for artists to use, people bitch about it. I mean, do you complain that Matt is using one of these with a screen?
Yes, I do. I bitched about it for that too. I was like, get her a fucking pen and paper. It's not the same thing. I yelled at him for that too.
Okay, well, he disagrees with you.
I know. Everybody does. But as Thaeta said, I will
not
be
everybody
leading.
does, Joe.
I will be leading the Butlerian Jihad someday, Rob. I will be doing that.
What? I don't understand your counterpoint there.
Dune. You ever read Dune?
Yeah, what about Dune?
But here's the thing. From Poe's perspective, it is a right and wrong thing. Rob's perspective is it's all shades of gray that haven't been figured out yet. And I can understand them both.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, as a creator, you got to figure out where you fall into this. Now, do I think that artists? Do I think that people like Glenn and Dyson and Errol Otis and I don't know, Clyde Caldwell and Larry Elmore and artists of that type are going to lose work over AI? No. Do I think that lesser artists, those that are probably putting a lot of their work into stock art, I think that you could. Why buy stock art when you can get something equivalent? So, is it going to hurt the top-notch artists? No. Just like it's not even good, amazing AI writing is not going to hurt the top-notch writers, but those that toil away at work that is exceptional but not top-notch, are the ones that are going to suffer.
Same thing with AI in the workplace, Eric. I mean, you're going to have robotic AI bullshit at McDonald's, and you're taking away tens of thousands of jobs.
You already have fucking money. You already have that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be worse and worse. I mean, they wanted to do with the dock workers, for fuck's sake, right? They went on strike over that.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's like, and then they cut a deal, from what I understand, that protects
dock workers are
generation.
not striking over AI. They're striking over standard industrial automation.
Automation, which is going to be controlled and used by AI to control it eventually. So what they're fighting against the future of mechanization of jobs that normal people do. And that's the problem, is that it always falls upon the fucking working class, the poorest people. Not to get all Karl Marx on y'all here, but you know what I mean? It's like, this is always the case. Is that the people who, the little people, if you want to call it, they suffer, they get fucked. That's the problem, I think.
Well, here's the thing. AI, the heart of it, the current technology are random generators with all the peril thereof. Now, the latest research, and I just read an article about that, they're trying to fix that by putting they call it decision making. They may give it a fancy term, but really what they're doing is they're putting a procedural rule-based layer to catch the bullshit that it randomly generates. So they're adding like traditional programming underneath it, so that when it self-corrects itself. But what it is, it's just, they're using techniques like we use in regular software. When I write industrial automation software, my company makes metal cutting machines, and one of the metal cutting machines that it produces straight pieces of air conditioning ductwork, in mass quantities very quickly. And I got to write all the control logic for it. So I have a whole bunch of what ifs rules in that to keep the guys who operate that machine safe. And they're doing the equivalent. That's what some of the cutting edge eyes are doing. They're figuring out a layer of where to put a layer so that when the randomly generated stuff perks up, it goes through rules to get it better. But the thing is, it is randomly generated. It is no better
Oh,
or worse than, see if I pull out the
Uh-oh.
a random
right
table.
thing
I
here.
know a random table book is coming. Titus, that's
Hey,
an
I
interesting
did. I
point.
did pull it out.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people don't realize that the hobby had a long tradition of randomly generated content. For example, these two products are a result of GDW using a PC, or it actually was I think it was a CPM computer, pre-DOS computer, and they randomly generated the content of this book.
Mm-hmm.
They typeset it to
But
make
Rob,
it look nice.
well, my point is,
You have Fangs, that Fangs there. If you look at Fangs, it's actually a computer printout.
but Rob, what are you trying? What is the point you're trying to make?
The point is that people will realize that the AI are producing randomly generated content, and the fad of trying to take over humanity is going to fade.
It's not, Rob. It's going to get smarter and better at everything.
But this is the faux intelligence of AI is magnitudes greater than these random tables you had before.
Yeah. I mean, it's an infant stage at this point. You know what I mean? It's an infant stage, and when it's fully grown, maybe not our generation, but maybe 50 years from now, it's and like Thaddeus just said, it's like AI is going to be the only thing to combat AI. AI is going to be running wars. AI is going to be running stock markets. AI is going to be running everything, man. Eventually,
The kind of AI you're talking about is still going to be science fiction. It's still science fiction.
for
The
now.
AI they have now, it's
For
a
now.
pattern.
For now.
Yeah.
It's a pattern. All it does is recognize
Right.
patterns. That's
Yeah,
the
for
training part. And then it's able to randomly generate content based on those patterns. It looks miraculous because it had, instead of like 100 rules that they use, instead of like 8 rules that they use to generate, let me pull it out. Instead of the 8 rules that they use to generate the spinward marches of Traveler, they have thousands of rules, but it's still behind the scenes. That's what it's doing. The
But-
work is being done now to make it, but pattern recognition is obviously very useful.
Yeah.
Like you want to check its grammar? Well, what's grammar? A bunch of rules that follow the pattern of the English
Right.
language.
But Rob, all this what this is going to do? Like, listen, all innovation when it comes to technology is generally for one of 3 things: make a job easier, make a job cheaper, or to kill people.
Yeah.
That's what everything comes down to.
Yeah.
So when the cotton gin was invented, it was to get more cotton picked and processed in less time than it was taken by regular human hands to do so. AI is nothing different. Think about where the computers that we had when in 1985, like a Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Take that to 1995, where we had, I guess, IBM SX or DX33s and maybe a 66. You counted your RAM and your memory, your storage in megabytes,
Yep.
not in gigs. All right. Now look at your phone. Actually, let's go back. Look at your phone from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You've got devices that were in Star Trek: The Next Generation. All right. We don't go anywhere without our phone. That's a computer in our back pocket that I can go and I can find any information. I did it tonight. It's like, what the hell is this in a restaurant?
More powerful than the computer they had running Cheyenne Mountain in NORAD in 1972.
Do you want to play a game? War games, yes. And
I'm talking prior to that, but yeah.
I know, but here's the thing. as computers get more advanced, they can replace, just like technology is about replacing humans, to get more work done with less effort to make more profit. You are replacing. We're seeing this now in fast food joints, where before you used to have, I don't know, 4 or 5 people working the counter. Now when I go to Poconos, stop on Route 15 out by Joe Block, I've got one person working the counter and the drive-through at the same time, because they want you to order from the kiosk.
Yep. I refuse. I say, fuck you. I go to the fucking counter and call somebody over. Fuck you.
I mean, I won't do self-checkout at a supermarket or Walmart.
Yep.
I won't. I refuse to do it.
Yep.
But the thing is, all these advancements are about doing away, lowering costs of employing humans.
Yeah.
So AI is nothing different, and that's what it's going to be used for. To think that it's not going to be used to do away with jobs is delusional at worst, and it's misguided at best.
Yep.
Okay, can you just show that what I about to show? So this is the machine that one of the machines my company produces that I work for. And I was there when my brother and dad developed the first version of this back in the mid 80s. Okay. This machine is a plasma cutter, and you put a sheet of metal on and it will cut shapes out. But what was revolutionary about this machine wasn't so much the machine. They had this in the 70s, like the naval yard that had it used to cut parts for ships. What's revolutionary was the software coupled with the machine, because what the heating and air conditioning industry had to do was all these heating and air conditioning parts that you see on the screen.
Mhm.
You had to lay them out in the flat, and this is a good example. You had to lay all this out in the flat and cut them out by tin snips. Now, obviously, having an automated cutter is easy, and these straight pieces that you see are easy. But these pieces where you see the T here and these T's, those you had to go to a guy, and this is one of the few professions that actually use geometry after high school. You had to use geometry to lay out the sides of the ductwork, and so you can assemble it so to create this T pattern or an elbow or what they call a transition that changes sides. And so the machine that this class of machine is one of the rare examples in recent times, in the last 50 years, where a machine was introduced that didn't just increase productivity by double or 3 times. It produces productivity 10 times, sometimes 100 times, depending on what the shop did on a regular basis, because the layout process was very time consuming. And a lot of shops had a bottleneck of it. They would have teams of layout guys.
Rob, are you
Now let me finish. That's not the point of the story. So this is the stage. So what would happen? What you think? Now, if you think what happened if one of the companies bought this machine, oh my God, they're just going to lay off all these layout guys. They don't need them anymore. One guy could do the job of 10, and that's true. One guy could do the job of 10, but that's not what they did when they bought one of these machines. What happened is all those guys doing layout, they were assigned to run the machine, and they used the machine to increase instead of bidding on a small job now they could bid on larger jobs. So they used the machines to expand their business, to expand what they do. And this, so for 20 years, from 1980 to about 2000, I've been in the shops, trained shops where it didn't have these machines before and didn't have these machines afterward. And I kept in contact with these shops because they needed to, they call in, have a problem, and I talked to them how to do. And every single one of them never cut their workforce but they use it to expand the business, the kind of jobs they could bid on. And that's what, and I've seen this in other technological fields too. People don't use it to cut the number of workers. They use this to expand the number of business they can handle.
You're taking away jobs from other people then, Rob.
Right.
That's the point. In other words, it used to take 10 guys to do the work, and there's one guy on the machine now. Where now there's 10 guys who aren't getting those jobs.
Of course, well,
You don't understand. They're still employing those 10 guys.
Yeah,
they're doing more guys. They're
Rob,
doing bigger business,
Rob,
so
you're
they
missing
still
the
need
whole
all
point.
10 guys. Joe.
Go ahead, Eric.
Rob, you made the point that this is the one that this is the exception to the rule. You started your story saying that this is an exception.
Well,
Reality
it's exception in the magnitude of its effect.
But Rob, when you walk into your McDonald's, your Burger King, your Wendy's, your fast food restaurant, what is happening? Less people are working, right? Because they're automating more of it.
Yep.
Walk into Home Depot and try to get a register that's manned by a living person.
Yeah.
Heck, try to get help in Home Depot. They've cut their staffing, right? Heck, my Stop and Shop no longer employs the mentally handicapped to clean the floors. They now got robots doing it.
I mean, think about it, Rob. What you just said was that Bill, the sheet metal guy, can now do what 10 Bill, the sheet metal guys, used to be able to do with your computer. Therefore, 9 future Bill, the sheet metal guys, don't have a job. But Bill didn't lose his job. Bill's just doing more. But 9 other guys who would have been doing that productivity don't have those jobs.
You don't understand, Joe. They're doing more business, so they still hire more guys. They're just able to take on. They're able to take on bigger jobs.
But that's not.
So they still need the manpower.
That's the exception to the rule, Rob.
Yeah.
One incident. Again.
Now you're saying about the McDonald's. You're saying about the McDonald's. It's because
Rob, can we agree to one thing, Rob? Can I just interrupt? Could agree on one thing. AI will cause human beings, to lose jobs. Period. Overall, on the grand scale, correct? If you can't say yes to that, Rob, I'm just ending the conversation. I can't.
No, I don't think it's going to cause people to lose jobs.
All right, then we'll end the conversation. We're at a complete impasse here. Then it's not even worth continuing.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and automation in all these early service businesses, I can see the jobs that have been lost.
Yeah,
I can see the downsizing. This is all about maximizing profits. And if AI can maximize profits, it is the biggest cost of any corporation is manpower, is personnel. I'm sure the NYPD would certainly love to find ways to make these robotic police dogs part of patrol that they've been playing with. They never will.
They're already drones, Eric. Did you read about that? The NYPD is getting drones to track shit now.
Oh, no. We've been doing that for a while. Yeah. Now we're actually advertising it.
Yeah.
They've been doing it. There's small departments that have been doing this for years. The fact that the NYPD now has officers that are trained in flying drones, the next step is going to be same thing as the military. They're not going to be on the streets or doing it from a van. They're going to be doing it from a centralized location. But
Eric, about your comment about McDonald's and Walmart, and I know more about the manufacturing, but the fact is there's a labor shortage. I mean, they can't hire the people to fill, so that's why they're turning to automation. That's why it's accelerating. Because of the labor shortage,
Rob,
they can't hire people to fill the positions that they need.
There is no. The reality is there is no labor shortage in this country.
No.
Right? There are people who have dropped out.
Hold on, Eric. You haven't tried to hire people. I have.
Oh, no, Rob. I'm sure people don't want to take jobs. It's not because there aren't people without work. It's people who just zoned out and said, "I don't want to work anymore. I'm happy with whatever I'm getting for not working."
I don't care what the reason is, Eric. What I see is from my end. My end is my company puts out a job opening, and we don't get applications for it. We have trouble hiring people.
Yeah.
That's it. Whatever the reason is, I don't care what the reason is. We have trouble hiring people, and the few people I know who run restaurants in my hometown have trouble hiring people to fill the slots that they have.
This is all post-COVID stuff. This is all all from the learned activity of I'd rather not work, which is whatever.
Well, the positions are there, Eric, and they're not being downsized away. They're the help wanted sign. You can go in and get a job if you want to. At
Right.
least here in Meadville.
But like, listen, out by me, Nassau County has advertising for Burger King night shift paying $22 an hour.
Yeah.
Blows my mind that you can flip burgers for $22 an hour, which obviously shows you that the reality is in most parts of this country, people have been under the minimum wage is the minimum wage it was when I was working retail back in the 80s. All right. It hasn't changed. What is it, $6 an hour for the federal minimum wage?
I don't know. I started my job when I was fucking 16 at $3.37 an hour. That's what it was here.
Yeah, I was $4.50, and then it went up to. Then I worked in electronics. I went up to $6 that was no longer a temp, and then a year later the minimum wage went up to $6, and I was
The best I got, I had to work as a shift runner at a convenience store on third shift in 1993, and I was rocking $10.50 an hour. I thought it was God. You know what I mean? 1993, $10.50 an hour. That was pretty good, but I had to do third shift to get it. You know?
Sorry, federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. It went up $1.25 since 1988 or so. That is disgusting. So if you want a reason why we're having a shortage of manpower, listen. If you could tell me, well, the government says I can pay you $7.25 an hour. I'll take the free government benefits. Thank you very much.
That's really what it comes down to, because $3.37 an hour in 1986 is not scale for inflation anywhere near $7.50 an hour.
All right, look,
near.
I have my eldest son is disabled.
Mhm.
I don't know why people get off of these government benefits. I don't think they actually ever try to apply for government benefits.
Oh, my son had government benefits when his mother passed. I know exactly the hoops, and I know exactly the receipts, and I know exactly how the government gives you a check, and then 2 months later tells you they overpaid you, and then you got to find the money to pay them back. It is fucking hoops and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, so the process is onerous enough that it's not the cause of why people are not, why there's a labor shortage. There's not this hidden reservoir of manpower that we have. Okay. Now, if you ask me, my theory as it to happen is the damn phones that we have. It's what it symbolizes. It's ease of communication. You don't like the job that you have, you can call somebody up and say, hey, if you work over here, this is better. And people are shifting over. Now, I can't say all the people, I'm not part of I participate in the part where we hire software developers and technical people at my company.
Right.
But there's a manufacturing side where we also have a turnover in it. But you hear things through the grapevine, and it's always somebody going to somewhere else. And those of us who remain kind of scoff, like, is the pasture really greener on the other side? Because we like to think that we offer a pretty decent setup. But
well, the reality that I have seen watching Rach and her social work when she was working is that the only way you get a raise of any significance in a lot of industries is you got to change companies, and that's just part of
it. Yeah,
system.
You don't get raises from within anymore. It's really hard. Yeah, you get stuck.
Right.
All right. So Mr. Gunn has a point. We're getting to top politics, and obviously we have strong opinions on it. So anything new gaming wise?
Anything new gaming wise? Well, besides,
or I can do my poster presentation if you want.
Well, listen. Besides the Zach Smith jumping through hoops, I really think that Joe should offer to edit Zach's latest work for him.
God, no.
No.
No. I'm happy doing my own thing.
Okay. You could get $1,000 book.
That's all right, man. I'll pass.
Well, I have a tip. So people know I bought a really nice printer, the ET $85.50, and it's not normally a normal hobbyist purchase. It cost me about $500. So, but they make their other regular size printer where you can feed the paper in from the back. So recently for Traveler,
It's funny because
somebody had permission
Hmm.
to release the original dust jacket for the
Mhm.
Traveler book as a PDF, and I got it. It was offered for free, and the only problem was that it requires a piece of paper that is 12 inches wide and 26 inches long. It's a dust jacket, and for 11.5 by 8.5 by 11 book. So what am I going to do? So I looked online for Amazon, and the paper that size is expensive, and the problem was the 26-inch length. I had to buy a $100 roll of paper in order to get it. I'm not going to do that. So I'm in Walmart, and I'm going through the craft aisle when I see one of these bad boys, a poster that you use for craft projects. And they several. This is a glossy grade. They make a regular plain paper grade, and this one's $1. The plain paper was 50 cents. So I went and I thought, you know what? I sliced it up, and then I made a strip that's 12 inches wide, and I used the entire length, and I printed it out, and that's how and it worked. How it got the dust jacket.
Yeah.
So for those with regular printers, you can do whatever wide is probably going to be 8.5 to 9 inches wide. You can probably not going to be limited to the 8.5. You can probably get a little bit wider, but you can do full size map, however long you need, but in whatever width your printer prints out. And then you can use packing tape, clear packing tape, to strip it to make yourself a full size poster map. But if this is regular, the thickness of this is regular cardstock. So if your printer can take cardstock, that's one way you can do an easier way you can do full size maps.
Yeah. Rob, you got somebody playing your game, man. There's a fucking Balrog tearing apart Pyaid. Apparently.
Pyaid, okay, cool.
Pyaid
Brown scene using chainmail and Tony Bass ancient wargaming. That is awesome. You're going far back for your rules.
A Balrog is slaughtering everyone. You can't go wrong with a Balrog.
Oh, was Ancient Wargaming one of the ones from the Book of the Month Club?
No, that's not it. That's I don't know. It's fantasy role playing or something. Has a demon on the cover. A guy summoning a demon on the cover.
No, there was one that was maybe it was fantasy wargaming. Man, it was. I actually got it one back in the day, and it was the book that immediately went into the garbage because I was just like, this makes no sense. It was so convoluted and confusing, and I think they went back to wargaming rules to redesign an RPG. Go back to the roots; it'd be better. It was horrid, but I can't remember the name.
No, it was somebody's idea of how things. All right, hold on. It was somebody's idea about how things ought to be, and they may call it fantasy wargaming, but it was just it was somebody's. It's like Ars Magica. You know how Ars Magica is a award-winning game, but it does have a lot of detail because that's what they're concerned about when they play their game. But this guy didn't know how to design.
Well, not for nothing, that was a huge thing back in the early days of gaming, is that when you had these people that were self-publishing, if you could self-publish, it did not mean that you had a viable concept. It meant that you had access to a printing press and you had money to burn.
Yeah.
And that's what got your shit into a store. And I still have a few of those in my gaming collection, which I look at and I go, how did this ever get published? But these are the ones that were published, like the early Tunnels and Trolls, where Ken St. Andre had them printed at college because he could do that for free. And were just a staple, like 3 staples. That, it wasn't like it was bound or any kind of staple. It was just
Yeah. Free for him, not free for the college.
Yeah, like
Right.
my college had a Blueprint photocopier, and it was like 25 cents per square foot, where later when like Staples had there was $1 a square foot. They were extraordinarily cheap. When I found that, I went and grabbed my all my Waterland stuff and had them photocopy it so I could preserve it.
You know, one thing I didn't mention here, I said it in our Monday night game as the cool thing of the week, but I haven't mentioned it here yet. This is, I'm sort of winding back my all the things I'm doing that are sort of active RPG playing and running games for a bit. I'm gonna finish out like the December with a random party generator, then step back from doing this on a bi-weekly basis. I'm gonna ramp. I told Tim pretty much by March 1st, I'm gonna be dropping out of the Monday night game and the Monday night show and wrapping my own campaign by then too. The only thing I'll be doing actively is my brother's game that I'm playing in, because he projects, it's been a couple years in and projects a couple years more before it's finished. And that's every other Friday. The whole reason to do this is to, number one, put out more YouTube videos. Eric seems to have found his secret sauce of how to pay for advertising. I'm going to pick your brain in January, dude, and get more subs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could not figure out how you were beating my ass because your viewers weren't matching the subs. I'm like, Russian bot motherfucker. But yeah, you figured out the secret sauce of how to
is actually via YouTube itself.
Yeah, advertising, paid advertising. So I'm going to learn that from you, put out more videos, and actually work on the next year, because I'm hitting a milestone birthday this year, and it's like, you hit a certain age and you want to live a little legacy. You know what I mean?
What's the milestone, Joe?
No, I'll tell you offline. So nobody knows my age. But, yeah, I'll text it to you. But it's so basically, I want to put something out there. I want to work this year on myself, and I. No, just my fitness, my health, and also get in better shape, and also produce something. I want to write.
Right.
So I just want to dedicate a year to that.
We're gonna bust your hump. We're gonna say Blood Island.
I know. It'll be in there just to satisfy the need for you guys, for need for me to not listen to you guys bust my balls about it forever. But yeah, an RPG which I started working on and sort of put off, because it's funny when you're actively doing stuff, running and playing, it takes away from all the time and concentration and dedication you need to. I'm still working full time, right? So I need,
Right.
You know what I mean? I need to scale back the shit I'm doing in order to create. Because creating within your DMing is one thing, but creating something like a world and a game system, it's a whole different thing. So I'm scaling back is the bottom line, guys. So I'm going to put out more YouTube videos, try to get more subs. And then the game plan is over the next year.
Don't get lost making YouTube videos. That's not creating. That is a form of creation, but it's not. I don't think that's the creation that you want to do. You want to release,
But Rob, the YouTube video purpose of that is to gain so many subs that when I do put my thing out in 5 years, I'll have tens of thousands of people who are a built-in audience to buy it. That's really the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
It's like,
As a dungeon master,
I'm not going to argue against that. Just it can be doing YouTube videos can be an end of itself. Witness some of the channels that we comment on.
Yeah. But the whole point of the YouTube video is what I'm going to do is start for the next year or so a DM focused YouTube channel, because I've noticed that there's certain YouTube channels that are player focused, DM focused, world focused, this and that, right? It's gonna be DM focused. I'm going to write the DM guide, and each day, each chapter, each thing I write, I'm gonna do a video on it talking about it, right? It's not gonna be reading what I wrote, but it's gonna be informed by what I wrote, and by the end of the year, I will have a DM guide. Same thing, and then when that's done, the player's handbook version, how to be a better player. You know what I mean? So, and then it's going through all that sort of thing. And so basically when I'm done, one is going to help the other's development. And then when I'm all done with everything, and I'm going to start play testing, I'm figuring about a year and a half from now, I'll be play testing, and I'm going to go live play testing, hopefully with a bunch of you guys,
right.
Get live and just run the fucking game and build some interest. And then play test the fuck out of it, keep writing, learn how to do InDesign and all the other bullshit. You know what I mean? And just by figure a 4 or 5 year plan is to produce an RPG in setting, run a Kickstarter. I'm going to start with little things on Kickstarter like Zine Quest and modules and shit like that. And eventually just, I'm going to build, you know what I mean? It's basically I got the old Soviet 5 year plan in place.
Oh, very good
As long
Soviet.
as you keep writing, it'll work out. Hey, Joe, though, I don't know if you remember, but we were talking about your desk and monitors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I recommend, when I realized what the room you have, I recommended ARMS.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out they now have some, nicely priced computer arms, and
Uh-huh.
just to show off,
Yeah,
I bought one, and it works
Nice.
out great. It just clamps on the edge of the table,
Okay.
and it allows me to have a portrait monitor with my map
Yeah. That's
right
cool.
there.
Oh, climbing that mountain, turning the big 5-0. The kind
Yeah,
of thing
when I
you
can
have
write now,
basic
I can
criminals.
put this thing right in my face and just write like that. Because my eyesight, but this monitor is set too far back,
Yeah.
and I can't really get it close without having the other stuff I need. But with this arm, I can get this, and now really helps. My eyes aren't exactly getting worse, but the writing's a lot easier when the fonts are not this big, but this big.
Yeah. The big 5-0, huh? Climbing that mountain. I've been there. Yeah, that's the thing. You get it. I mean, it's a matter of you want to leave a legacy. Listen, I'm not married. I don't have kids. You know what I mean? I have cool, a family, nephews and nieces, this and that. But yeah, I want to leave a little something behind. I would love someday, and also a little fiction too. My dream someday is to find my own fiction book in a used bookstore. That would be the completion. That would be so fucking cool to me.
Oh, you find it at Strand or something like that?
Yeah, somewhere, anywhere. Just a used bookstore that I'm wandering through somewhere, and I see a copy of my book, and published, and somebody read it, and it's all dog-eared and
Somebody read it and then said, "I don't want any more. I need the book 25 and something."
Pass it along. I love that. I love used bookstores, man. I love used bookstores.
Well,
so yeah, that's the goal.
The fun of bookstores is to see, hey, did anybody leave anything inside this? Is there a notation? Is there a name?
Yeah.
Is it from to Johnny, love Mom?
Exactly. I love that stuff. I love when I find, I bought what the hell was it? What is the old RPG back in the day with the Texas Outlaws and the guns and fucking what the hell was it? TSRs, guns and pistols and cowboys. What the hell was that?
Boot Hill.
Boot Hill. I got a Boot Hill game. I picked up the box set off of Noble Knight or whatever, and it was packed with notes and PC sheets and all. Oh my god, it was a trucking treasure trove of that, and I just love looking at all that shit. Like the Noble Knight, they just kept the books in there, but they left all the guys' original shit. Like, this is fucking great. This is somebody's little game history, Like, if I ever come across my own book in a bookstore, in a used bookstore, I'm going to take it, I'm going to autograph it, and put it back on the shelf. Just because, It'd be fucking cool, man. Let somebody buy it. And probably not worth shit, but someday, who knows,
So, not that I'm advocating for this, but, you could walk into a used bookstore and just look at the author's name and just sign it for them and then put it back on a shelf.
Kind of funny, right? That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, so that's the 5-year plan, basically. That's what I'm doing. So if you don't see much me here, that's the reason, guys. But I'm going to be cranking away, and I'm going to, report back. You'll see more YouTube videos because I do want to grow YouTube. I basically what I want to do, big picture wise, like I said, is a 5-year plan. But we're all Eric. Eric, you got a great retirement set up and this and that. And I don't know what yours is, Rob, but I'm the Gen X guy that doubts everything. I don't believe anything government says. I got some level of pension. I don't believe Social Security still be around by the time I retire. I need some money so I can fucking retire. I want a modest revenue stream so that when it comes time, I can actually fucking do it. I don't want to work till I die. Granted, my job is I'm not on a jackhammer. I'm not a cop out there getting shot. I'm not a construction worker. I'm not a fucking plumber. I'm not a ditch digger. But
you get burned out, man. You
want to fucking live a little before you croak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it is. So hey, Grill Wizard, what's up? Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the goal there. So
I'm still trying to complete the pan that I laid out in 2009.
I know that's why, and you inspire me a bit, Rob, because I see what you're doing. I'm like, I can do that too, and I know I can write faster than Rob, so I know I can do this.
Sorry, everybody can write faster than me.
Yeah, but you're doing it, man. That's all that matters. You're fucking doing it.
I don't know if people are aware, but because of my hearing loss,
What?
My hearing loss is.
What?
Stop.
It's not funny, Joe.
How to do it.
Because of my hearing loss, it's nerve damage. It got into my language skills, and I've always tested well in every subject except for English. So it's a miracle that I even publish in anything. But the fact of the matter, it seems to take me a little longer than most.
Yeah, you get it done. You crank. You Rob. The thing about you is you dedicated. Every day we get a new fucking text with a new fucking location in your goddamn world.
Every day I try to do a paragraph or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Gabriel, that's you, dude. What's up, man? Gabriel was back in the Flail Snails days. We played together for a couple of years back then. I haven't seen. So that's your name on YouTube. Good to know, man. That's good to know. He was a cool dude. I forget where you're from, Gabriel. I know it's in South America somewhere. I just forget the country you're from, but we had a good fucking time. In fact, speaking of Flail Snails, you remember the old days with the blogs?
Yeah.
When you had a comment and you wanted to track comments in a certain blog, and you would get an email.
Oh my God, yes.
I had a fucking email pop up on Zach Smith's blog from a post from fucking 2010 on Flail Snails. Somebody made a comment on Flail Snails, which was what that thing we all just played a character in everybody else's game. We bounced them around all over the place. And somebody commented on it saying, this is pretty cool. Is it still going on? And Zach replied, yeah, we're still doing it. I'm like, fuck, that's like resurrecting from the dead. You know what I mean? I haven't seen a fucking blog comment email pop up in years. And it was Flail Snails of all things. And there's Gabriel, a Flail Snails buddy from Uruguay. Okay, yep. Yeah, cool dude. Really good guy. He ran in I ran Castle Zagig. He was playing in that too. Yeah. Good times, man. Good times. Yeah. Listen, guys, I gotta drop. I got a couple things I gotta do because I gotta get up early tomorrow. All right. So my nephew's got a basketball game I gotta hit. So I'm gonna head out, but it's been good talking to y'all. I will be here in 2 weeks again, and that'll be my last regular one. I might pop in here and there.
It's the random party. Yeah, it's an open invitation. Exactly. It's your Discord server that we throw the invites up.
That is true. That is true. It seems like a common denominator. So yeah. All right, guys. Listen, I got to get going though, so I will let you all go. Thanks for having me here. I will talk to you all later.
Yep.
All right, have a good night.
All right.
Later, Joe. Well, it's probably we're hitting the hour and a half mark. It might be a good time for us to.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it for everybody.
All right. Well, then goodbye, everybody. Have a great night. I got a boogie. Take care.
Folks, thank you very much. We got one more Joe. So next 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be Yo Joe.
Yeah, that'll be the last Joe. What day is that? That's the 27th. So just had the Christmas just before New Year's.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, folks. On that note, thanks to Rob. Thanks to Joe.
Take care, guys.
Thanks to everybody in the live chat. You guys have been great. Next live stream is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Gamers Health. And other than that, as always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Oh, it's our Christmas, by the way, at the blog, 10cardstavern.com. We'll kick off tomorrow. We got some very good prizes in the mix, so you want to be part of it because